countdown to the show starting. If you're here early, you're amazing, know how loved you are. If in return you could drop a little like on the video, that would be amazing, helps with the old algorithm in a huge way. And you're looking for something to do, use the comments, tell us where in the world you're watching the show from right now. That would be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a boss show. Strap yourself in. You've still got a minute and 30-ish seconds, 32. Time to just about make yourself a very weak cup of tea or a standard cup of water. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're looking for something else to do, here's some awesome merchandise that we sell. I've no idea what the actual t-shirt is, but what I can say with absolute guarantee is that it's clearly amazing, because our designers are great. That's on redmenmerch.com. Here's some cool stuff there. 1 minute till the show starts. Getting exciting. Yeah, you can put in the comments section, who is your favorite Liverpool player of all time? Yeah, that should kill a few seconds, kill 15 just saying it. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Thank you so much for sitting here in eager anticipation of what we're going to do for you, or all the things we're going to do. It's going to be great fun, great laugh. What a time we're going to have here. Oh, 27 seconds. Here we go. Make sure that you've got your volume levels adjusted perfectly. You're sitting comfortably. And, you know, if you're the kind of person who's a very angry commenter, make sure you press that caps lock button first, because that way we know that you're shouting in anger when you type your comments in. But obviously, just be nice, right? Anyway, 4, 3, 2, 1, enjoy the show. Yes, Uncensored match build-up time. I am Paul Machin. Alongside me is Dan Clubb. And this waving man at the board is Chris Pajak. This wanking man at the board. Don't ask him to do things. He'll do them, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're Liverpool playing Leeds at Elland Road. That is an away game of football, Dan Clubb. We're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into our thoughts, feelings and expectations, as well as get the Liverpool rumoured team. But first, let's listen to what Jurgen Klopp had to say in his pre-match press conference about the return of Luis Diaz.
Yeah, he's 100% ready in training, so that's it now. He's now completely normal in training, and now we have to reintegrate him. So he will be in the squad. If nothing happens, then Luis will be in the squad, and from there we go. That's it. Don't like too much to talk about these kind of things, because then next moment you get a call that somebody's out. But we had a couple of problems this week. Ivo couldn't train for 2 days. Should be back today, hopefully. Ali wasn't involved for 2 days. We'll train today individually. So a little bit illness here, a little bit knocks there. So we had a few problems, and hopefully we'll not get more. But if they're all in, then I think we have 5, 6 players not in the squad, matchday squad. This is a lot. It's a lot, and and they're all training well. I cannot, if it would be easy for me, if somebody is not showing up, then it's a very easy decision, but there are no easy decisions, who stays at home, stuff like this. So that's tough for a few boys, but really good for us. And we never had that, and that's positive, absolutely.
Yes, so unwilling to jinx it, but yeah, Luis Diaz should be back in the matchday squad at the very, very least ahead of this game. Dan, how are you feeling about having a bit of Lucho in your life again?
Yeah, delighted just to get Diaz back on the bench. I think it'd be a huge boost to us as fans for a start, because he has been brilliant since he came in. This season's been a real shame for him. I think we were all excited about the prospect. He had that bit of time the back end of last year. We probably fast-forwarded that deal a little bit, but he came in, hit the ground running and was sensational, really sort of took us on from the levels we were at. And like I say, this season hasn't happened for him at all, really. So it's been a shame. But yeah, having him back is going to be a major boost. We are going to have to be careful with him. And I think we've all alluded to it over recent weeks. We also need to sort of manage expectations of what we're going to see between now and then. Listen, if he comes in, he's outstanding, he helps us get a few more goals, helps us move up the table, then boss. But at the same time, we've all seen with Diogo Jota, it can take a while to get going again.
Yeah, definitely. Get your comments in on everything if you want to in the live show chat. We've had one from Solid Snake here, just says, how to do it because it's in caps. Yes, lads, let's go! I'm shouting in excitement, not anger. Yes.
That's unusual.
Don't do that often, do we? Yeah, we don't get that often, yeah.
It's so unusual that you had to spell out that that's what it is.
Yeah.
This is the tough world of text-based worlds. Chris Pajak, who's at the board. Hi. How are you generally feeling?
Footy-wise, actually quite excited for this game. I think it's an away game that we've got a chance of winning. Just following on from what Dan was saying on the Diaz stuff, though, what I find, like, I sort of just realised over the weekend is that we've had like a double whammy, haven't we? Because we got rid of Mane and then we lost his replacement as well. So it's actually compounded how much I've missed Mane not having Diaz available. So I'm really excited. Hopefully he gives Diogo Jota a literal and figurative kick up the arse for this game as well, because it would be great to see him get back in the goals if he does start tonight. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to watch this game. And I really do think Liverpool can win because I think Leeds are shitter than us.
Gareth Baird says, you lads are amazing and make this bad season more bearable. Thank you. Well, we will forget that for the vast majority of Redmen's early years, Liverpool were fucking rubbish.
All of Redmen's early years.
Yeah. Liverpool were rubbish, absolutely rubbish. So we're very, very well versed in how to crack on through adversity and what have you. I'm looking forward to this too. To be honest, Stan, if only because a couple of things. I said this before, we've got no choice. 9 games of football left. It is what it is. The season will soon be over. It'll be over before we know it. There is the slim. I want to end the season on a high. I want to end it via optimism. If Liverpool lose tonight, then even I, who have been the eternal optimist, I'm prepared to totally and utterly concede fourth place is the thing. But you know, if we're gonna have a wonderful, mad, exciting, weird, crazy run in, then it will start tonight. Because at some point you do have to win away games at some point.
Yeah, you do. Unfortunately, away games at relegation threatened football clubs have been our kryptonite this season, haven't they? And this is another one of them. But I think, even for our own sake, whatever it eventually means this season, whether it means top 4 Europa League or otherwise, we need to see something, don't we? We need to see some positivity, and that starts tonight, in my opinion. I think Trent said this week, I think we've got to go in and try and win all 9 games we haven't made, and that's all we can do. We need to take the positives from it, whether it be individual performances or we start seeing something different as a team. We all seen the slight tweak in tactics last week, and whether we see a bit more of that between now and the end of the season, we just need a glimpse of what the future looks like, and hopefully that begins tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Michael McGuinness has been a member for 32 months in the live show chat here as a first teamer. Says, got to listen and work. Fuck's sake, fuming about it, but YNWA. I mean, there's few things it's like having to listen on the radio or having to watch on a crap stream. They're the two, the two levels of frustration to not being able to watch them.
This season's away games and radio.
Being at the away games, number one.
Not having to watch it, pretty high up there.
Yeah,
I'd be quite happy with some of them.
Yeah, but like fuming at a radio. Like I've done that. I remember when we played Roma in 2001 in the UEFA Cup, and it was that the Gary Mac Penn one. And I was working behind a bar and I had it on a little radio. So I had to keep going in and out and celebrating a goal on the radio when you've hardly had it. It's bad enough, but then obviously listening to Liverpool defeats in between.
One of my earliest memories is crying at the radio after we got beat. And I think it was by Blackburn. I was young, really young. And
was it JCB buying his Loppy playing? And it just really got to you.
It was Liverpool later. I'm not just bringing up some sort of dark, sad memory. That is a tune, though. I haven't heard that for ages. We got beat. I'm sure by Blackburn, like the League Cup, when I was a proper child, and my nan had to come and console me, saying it wasn't all that bad, but it was bad at the time.
Yeah. Anyway. A couple of random comments because look, we've done the whole let's be optimistic, let's look ahead of it. Ultimately, until we know the team and there's loads to do, I want to talk about the Gravenberch stuff because we got a question from Matty Lewis. Thoughts on the Gravenberch rumours? It's been heavy this week, hasn't it? That Liverpool has sent a delegation over, almost like in the wake of the Bellingham stuff being shut down. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm excited by the prospect of it. It's a player that we wanted actually whilst he was still at Ajax before he made the move to Bayern. I think too many people I've seen this week are kind of saying, well, he can't get in Bayern's side. Bayern are obviously a very good football team for one, but I think we're reading a little bit too much into that. I think he's still an exciting talent. And I think under the right manager, i.e. Jurgen Klopp, I think there's a real player there. So I think it's one we should definitely look to pursue, especially for the figures that I've seen muted to sort of 25 to 30 million. That's a no-brainer.
It's another 6-footer as well for me, Chris. You know, he's like, I think he's about 6'2", 6'3", maybe 20 years old. He's obviously got something, and all of a sudden, yeah, you're starting to fill your team out with lads, and you've got a more physical presence, you've got pace in your side, you've got technical ability. I was really interested. Yeah, I'm sure I don't know if you've looked at it. It's the kind of thing you would have looked at. Is the FBref comparable players to Gravenberch, and it's all players that we've been linked with previously or think are really good.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's the links to Gravenberch are interesting because, well, for a start, we've done a deep dive show maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago on him and looking at potential midfield targets, and he was one of the ones that we pulled up using FBref actually. But I think interestingly with him, it's Liverpool getting back to doing what they've done in the past. You know, you take the signing of Mo Salah. Didn't work out at Chelsea, but you know, he went to Roma, it starts to work out there, and then we go and purchase him. There are reasons sometimes why players don't work at clubs, and especially young players going into teams like Bayern Munich and stuff like that, where opportunities are thin on the ground sometimes, because the established are so good and so used to the rigmaroles of playing for that top side. It might be a way of Liverpool getting value again, which I know some people will hate and stuff like that, but getting value is always a good thing in any business. But for some reason, when we talk about Liverpool getting value, it's like frowned upon. Like, this could be a lad who could help us and sort our midfield out for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But even if it doesn't, he's likely to hold his value, and we can able to move him on in a few years' time and stuff like that. So, but he's an exciting guy. I think you're right. I think, you know, the athleticism, the physique of him fits the mould of what Jurgen did when he initially came into Liverpool. We just got bigger all over the place, and if anything, this season we've been light in the middle of the park. I know Fabinho's tall, but he's fucking slow. Like, and you know, having Harvey Elliott buzzing around him and stuff like that, it's not quite the same as, you know, 6 foot plus Jordan Henderson and Fabinho and a really powerful Gini Wijnaldum in there. So I think this one suits all parties if we're able to prime away.
Those who are interested, similar players to Ryan Gravenberch, according to FBref, over the last 365 days: Alexis McAllister, Kefren Turan, Conor Gallagher, Yusuf Fofana, Lovro Meyer, Jude Bellingham, Federico Valverde, Kevin Stozier, Jean Rickner Bellegarde, and Oscar Rodriguez are Knights.
Where did they have him as a centre mid?
The midfield, just midfield, it says.
Yeah. He has played sort of box a bit. He has played a little bit in the DM, which I thought was an interesting element to it, because I think I raised it in one of our chats last night. The midfielders we're pursuing, none of them are proper sixes, like out-and-out sixes. So I don't know whether we're sort of pinning all our hopes on Fabinho getting back to form, or Stefan Bajcetic being, as I said upstairs, you guys, the real deal. But for Gravenberch, I think you mentioned the names there. About 6 or 7 of them we have been heavily linked to, so it's no surprise that we're going again for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting stuff, and we'll see. Of course, it's still a while away till the transfer market really kicks up into high gear. But I thought it was quite interesting that we did this on Thursday Night Pints. It's actually available on Redmen 2 right now. We re-rank the players that are being linked as the sort of Bellingham alternatives. I highly recommend checking that out unless you're Conor Gallagher.
What's Redmen 2?
What is
Just
Redmen
drop that
2?
in there. What is it?
What is Redmen 2? Well, it's a channel. It's Redmen 2.
So you just go up one on the remote?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds. The team will be coming up very shortly. I think it'll be interesting. The rumoured team, in fact, Chris, should we just talk through it, because you've got the team that's been leaked effectively up there at this point. Whether there'll be any changes, we'll know in 2 minutes.
I don't know about leaks. This is definitely the side that played last time out, though.
Yeah.
Which is also the leaked side.
Yeah. Curtis Jones will inevitably be the one that makes people get a bit churlish in the comments.
I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I thought he had a really good game against Arsenal. So yeah, to go through, it's the same side that we played last time out against Arsenal. It's Alisson, it's Robbo, Virgil, Canate, Trent, Fabinho with Jones and Henderson, Jota, Gakpo and Salah. Obviously, there's a minute now until the team comes out proper. So it looks like Jurgen might be going for the same team once again, which is interesting, isn't it? Because it's one thing going for the same team, but is he going to play the exact same way? And I think that's where the interesting stuff comes from for me, because we know, what did he call it, Indicator?
The right midfield back.
The right midfield back in that game was Trent Alexander-Arnold, who sort of went inside. We saw that. We saw Canate fan out, Virgil go central, Robertson tuck in, and then we ended up with a little bit more like that, didn't we? With that sort of 3-2-2. 2-1 if you want, or 3-4-3, whatever. So that's the interesting thing, isn't it, for anyone who's been following the box midfield talk of the last few weeks?
Chris Hunter in the comments here saying, what about playing 3-4-3 formation, suit Robbo and Trent attacking tendencies? And that is what that is effectively, isn't it, what you're saying there, Chris, albeit it's not because of what we recognise.
It's out.
Yeah,
the team is out. And is it correct?
Yeah, looks like, yeah, it is, yeah.
There we go. So, yeah, that is the team. Go on, Chris, you want to just talk us through it?
Yeah, well, I need to get the subs sorted, but yeah, so the team is right then, it looks like. Alisson in goal, Robertson, Van Dijk, Canate, Trent, once more with Phelan, Fabinho, Jones, Henderson, Jota, Gakpo and Salah. Subs, Kelleher, Thiago, Milner. Nice, in order as well. I'm going to bring my phone to it. Firmino, which I've never done before. How long have we been doing this show? I always put it over there and then I go back and forth.
Feels a lot easier.
It's like it's mobile. Who knew? I've been treating it like a fucking landline all this time. Jesus Christ. Get tangled up in the wire. Milner, Firmino, Elliott, yes. Timmercass is back in. Diaz is there, lovely. Nunes and Matip. I'm missing someone. Who am I missing there? I've got, is it Gomez that's not there?
Too many Joe Gomez, yeah.
Yeah, it's Joe Gomez. Sorry, Joe. He's probably injured again.
He is now, he's filming.
Yeah, he's fucked. So there you go, there's the subs. Kelleher, Thiago, Milner, Elliott, Diaz, Nunes, Firmino, Matip, Timmercass, all the strikers, all the attacking players on the bench. We were talking about the sort of box midfield. Was it a comment you wanted to go to, Paul?
It was about whether we play 3-4-3, but we'll move on. We'll move on from that because let's talk more about the decisions in terms of the selection. Obviously, first and foremost, Luis Diaz being back involved, amazing. Great to see him back involved in the side. I think we've been waiting for that for a very, very long time indeed. But the two big ones, Dan.
32 games he's missed.
Yeah, mad. Curtis Jones in the midfield. And Jota getting another go again on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the Jones one is probably the most interesting. I mean, he's sticking by Jota, isn't he? I think it's fair to say. But in some respects, he's sticking by Curtis Jones as well. He has been good the last two games, I feel. I feel like he played well last week as well. And he gets a lot of unfair criticism. I think we all are fully well-versed in that. But, yeah, I think it's a show of faith, isn't it? He's clearly impressing in training as well. So credit to him for that. And I don't know, whether he's sort of playing for his place in the squad next season, I'm not quite sure, because we've all alluded to the fact that the top four is a bit of a pipe dream now, so we'll kind of see where we end up in that respect. But to go with Jones, having had a full week of Thiago training, is a big call, and I wonder whether there is an element of Jurgen Klopp saying, all right then, you've had your little run now, show me what you're made of between now and the end, because you could be a part of this next season or not.
Well, let's be honest, Chris. I mean, I think both of these will probably be Liverpool players next season. But Thiago and Jota and Jones are all saleable assets, I think. You know, I think you'd listen, and obviously Fabinho as well, but you could potentially listen to offers for those. And I think there's a little bit here where Jones and Jota in particular, I don't think you would get rid of Thiago. I think Thiago stays because he's so good.
Worth the least out of all of them as well.
Yeah. But with someone like Jones and Jota, you've now got 9 games to decide whether they're part of your plans for next season, as Dan's kind of alluding, or whether they are the kind of player that you would take a punt on moving on.
I've been saying for weeks now, I think he's a saleable asset. I think there's a lot of work to be done. I think it's a footy manager saleable asset, to be honest with you. I think when you're actually constructing a football team and a squad to win or try and win week in, week out, Jota might be one change too many unless a really good deal comes in. What I'm trying to say is he's probably one of them that if a really good bid comes in, you consider, but he's not one you go and shop. Do you know if that makes any sense at all? Because let's say we got no Bobby Firmino next season. You're relying on Nunes and Gakpo. You're relying on Diaz. You're relying on Salah. Where are your options for backing them up? And he's a utility player that can play across all three. So I think that makes sense to keep him in the squad. Jones, I agree. You know, you're looking at saleable assets. Thiago, 1 year left on his deal, probably going into next season, I think it is. 32 years old. Not going to get too much money, so keep him around, whatever. See if you can get him to extend a year, who knows. The Jones thing, I think we were talking about it before we came on air. If we're going to continue to do this, right? And that sort of box midfield, and we'll find out more today whether this is going to be the plan between now and the end of the season. Who have you got that can play this role specifically? Because I can't imagine that it's Harvey Elliott over on this side. I think of him more as the Martin Odegaard type on this side. You want someone running into the box there, someone pulling the strings. If you think of Odegaard and Xhaka or Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan, the way that Manchester City and Arsenal play it. So this guy runs in between the lines. Kurt Jones is a left winger, used to do that. Well, he's just doing that and getting into the same area of the field. So it's an area of the pitch that he can certainly work and might be able to excel in. Linked with Mason Mount, potentially a position there. Linked with Gravenberch, potentially there. I think if it was this formation, linked with maybe Alexis McAllister, something like that, could probably play in either one of those two. And that leaves you Trent Alexander-Arnold thing, which is why it's interesting. So Jones might not be only playing for his future at the football club, but he might be playing for his future in that role. Because right now, I sort of said this before when we were chatting, didn't I? I think he's been a little bit of a square peg in a round hole at times because the transition to midfielder hasn't really worked for him. He's not really been able to affect the game in this area of the pitch as much. And he's probably been maybe a little bit too safe, concentrating on what he's got to do defensively in this side of things.
The games when he's ultra confident, because I think that it's easy to say he hasn't worked. I don't think he's been a stellar success there, but I quite enjoyed him on the left of a midfield. When he's cut loose, he's been really good. I think back to like the Benfica away game last season is an example of that. He's had some really good games in that position, but when he plays it safe, it's hard to understand what he does. He's brilliant at keeping possession. He's got that Gini Wijnaldum thing where he doesn't lose the ball, but he isn't progressive enough with it. And Chris is right. If you can get him an opportunity, just go on, go and show us what you can do. Be freed. Yeah. Then it could well get the best out of him.
I think he needs that because he's played his whole life up until a certain point with that. Because he coming through the youth ranks, he was the star of the show. He was the give me the ball, I'm going to make something happen. He was the captain of the youth teams, etc., etc. And he was just everything in them sides, and he plays with that confidence and that swagger of a lad who pretty much knew he's better than everyone around him, and yet he's come into the first team. He's been shifted into a different role where he has more responsibility, and he hasn't really been able to sort of nail it down yet. And it's a lot of injuries have not helped him. They've curtailed his development, obviously, but I think you're right. I think in moments whereby you say to him, go on, go and enjoy yourself, he has showed glimpses. Obviously, we've got his Derby goal, we had the Brentford goal, which is a stunner as well. He gets the goal, the winner against Ajax, so he is capable at this level of contributing to Liverpool. It's just getting it out of him time and time again. We haven't seen it yet.
Seen a lot of mentions about the lack of Darwin Núñez as well, Chris. Again, it was made, the point is made. Jurgen Klopp said this, and we forget this sometimes because we had a number of years where we didn't make loads of changes to the team. But he picks the lads that have basically, who understand what he wants, but also work the hardest in training in the week building up to it. If Diogo Jota's in the team, it's because he's doing something in the 5 other days or 6 other days that we're not seeing that's putting him in the squad ahead of Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Darwin Núñez is a fella that I think most Liverpool fans like, and most Liverpool fans really want him to work out, not just because of the money, but because of the sort of how cool he is to watch, how funny he is to watch. He plays the game with a certain freedom and stuff. But equally, when you put your sort of analytical head on, he's not the guy when you're learning a new system and you need 11 players to know exactly what they're doing to throw in there, because one guy can let the entire system down. And Darwin Núñez is a bit of a freewheeler at times, isn't he? And he's a bit of a maverick at times as well, where he's just going to go off and do his own thing. And if you want to create a solid foundation to win games from, then maybe you're just not able to carry Darwin right now. Maybe it's about getting the formation right, getting everyone into their system, understanding their roles, and then providing him a platform to build on. You know, might we see more Darwin Núñez if we go with that box midfield? Sorry to keep talking about it. Is this more the formation? Is it a change of pace between Gakpo dropping deeper and Núñez, who's going to be the tip of the spear type of thing? So yeah, I still think we're working towards a 4-2-3-1 next season. I really do. And I think Gakpo's going to end up playing behind Darwin Núñez. And I know I've said this, Paul, for 13 years straight. But one of these years, damn it, Paul, I'm going to be right.
Yeah, well, we do play that formation like 2 or 3 times a season, don't we? So you've never been truly wrong. And if we are going to be a team that just fights for 4th in the league, then we might as well join them and just play 4-2-3-1. But as it's interesting, again, you go back to the thing is, you say almost apologetically, go, the box midfield. people won't be talking about that in a year or two's time because that'll just be a commonly accepted terminology, unless you're Tim Sherwood, which is to say a fucking idiot and doesn't like having expressions that sum up things in a more simplified and easy to digest way. He just prefers people going, oh, run and kick and stuff.
Don't forget they were doing it.
What?
They were doing it, of course.
Yeah,
we did all that.
We were playing that box midfield. We were playing the box midfield. Called it 4-4-2.
Never called it that. Why did he make it as a manager, I wonder?
You know what? No, not touching it. No. I nearly said something that was going to get me into potentially massive libel.
Let's go again.
So let's not. He's a fucking dickhead, Tim Sherwood. He's a huge dickhead. He's on the list of. There's some brilliant ex-pundits. In fact, there's one on the telly right now. Ex-player pundits, Jamie Carragher. But there's some that are absolute morons, and they're on telly doing analysis less, shall we say. Answer what real Ferdinand and Tim Sherwood. Right, sound. Get your thoughts in on the team. What do you think the score is going to be? One question was also asked: if Liverpool get a penalty, who takes the penalty for you, Dan Club?
From that team, Fabinho. Yeah.
Chris Page, yeah?
I don't know whether he can take them, right? But I think Gakpo looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I think he's a penalty taker.
His record's okay as well. I think he's like 2 from 2 at Ajax, I want to say, or 3 from 3 or something like that.
See,
Not
it's
loads,
all about
but...
how they look as a penalty taker. Mo Salah didn't look like a penalty taker.
Nope. Never
Gakpo
convinced.
does.
There's an argument for Virgil after what he did in the Carabao Cup final.
There's an argument for bringing Keller on for it.
Well, if there's a point where Mo Salah can't win the Golden Boot anymore because Erling Haaland exists, you might as well take him off the penalties because that was his like guaranteed like ticket to the Golden Boot. Adding that into the mix, give it to. It's a pity.
Here's a question.
Go on,
you. Right. If it wasn't penalties and it was American shootout, why would it be Joel Matip?
It wouldn't be Joel. Because he'd just be, because the goalie be doubled over laughing on the floor and he'd just walk tiptoe around him. Yeah,
could there be a funnier American shootout taker than Joel Matip?
If there was an American shootout and someone from that 11 had to take it, who would you pick, Chris? Fucking hell, Page, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fancy Kerr Jones, you know?
Do you?
I do.
YouTube comments.
Wow.
Have a bit of that. Chris Pajak has put an American shootout duties on the toes of Curtis Jones.
Question, right? Why don't people go around the keepers no more?
They don't, do they? That's a good point,
why did they stop doing that? It's like every time you're in a 1-on-1 situation, no one ever goes around the keeper anymore in the games that I watch.
Maybe because they're so tired by the time they just...
I wonder whether the sweeper keeper is because of that, so they're so high up, the opportunity's not there as much anymore.
I still think there's opportunities there.
You think that, though?
I do.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I said. That's why I said I still think, Paul. I thought it was relatively obvious.
From the main stand view of it, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's
no, fucking all of it. Like, so many times, 1-on-1s where you think, just give him a little dummy. Fake it, go round him.
It wasn't the finish, wasn't it?
Piece of piss, that, Chris. Yeah, absolutely.
Easy, I mean, look, to be fair, Markovic couldn't do it past me, so maybe it's not that easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do classify as a sweeper.
They had a lot more. They had a lot more to go around, to be fair. Comments from our club legend, Carvalho. A few people saying in terms of that player, you could play that box role, Chris. The Curtis Jones one.
Yeah, probably could do. Yeah, good shout.
Interesting. And one last thing before we wrap up, I was going to make mention of it anyway, but thanks to Raymond D for helping me segue nicely. Says Jumper looks boss, mine arrived today too. Yes, I want to say thank you to Frank's Football. I'm trying to do this so people can see it. They're doing like a modern remake of an old Adidas jumper from the 90s, and I genuinely thought it was going to be a huge, huge scam and took a punt, and I'm very happy to say that it is absolutely sensational. It's that comfy. So yeah, check out Frank's Football at Frank's Football 1 on Twitter if you want to get more info on them right now. Right,
if he does start scratching his neck though,
what?
It might be the jumper.
Well, if I do, yeah. If I come out in hives by the end of the watch along, then you can watch it live. This is a live product test. This has come straight out the packet and onto my skin, so we'll see. But so far, so good. At Frank's Football, very, very good indeed. Right, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling excited. If you are too, come and join us for the watch along. We'll be back in about half an hour's time. Thank you so much. Super chat before we go.
Nice.
Stevie G, he's been a member for 14 months. High scoring game, I reckon. 4-2 Reds. come on, boys. Yeah, I just want to be entertained, to be honest. You know, or if you could tell me that we were going to win all 9 and get top 4, I'll take any wins. But right now, I can't guarantee that, so I just want to be entertained. Elite 6, a system or not, I'm not sure why Jota gets the nod over Nunes. Jota hasn't managed to go in like 30 games. I genuinely feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Yeah, but, I mean, what does that say? I always say, what does it say about the other player? Because we've done this for years, where it's like, why you're better off just playing X, Y, and Z. There's methods to madness. And I ultimately think right now, Darwin Núñez has got a better value to us as a pacey impact sub than the other way around. I think we kill ourselves stone dead when we bring Jota on instead of him. So that's my thoughts on it. Anyway.
Actually, just on that, I think we're trying too many things for Darwin Núñez. Like, we're trying to sort of get this model of this tactical system, and I think Darwin Núñez doesn't take instructions very well.
He's just when the games are open and wide and he's got space to run into, I think he's great on that wing. But when it's tight and he's got to do close dribbling and be perfect, it doesn't suit it as well as Jota. Jota gets assists as well, which is another thing to consider. Anyway, we'll be back in half an hour. Come and join us for the watch along. Until then, up the fucking beds.
Go to redmenplus.com, redmenplus.com, redmenplus.redmenplus.com, and you will get discount codes for redmenmesh.com, redmenmesh.com, redmenmesh.redmenmesh.redmenmesh.com.